Good evening. Welcome. How is everyone? Michael here, Deeper States Mind and Wellness. I know some of you are still going to be coming on a little here, so I'm going to fill in a little bit of time. But today we're talking a little bit about how to be you, how to be the original you, the true self of who you are, and not really who you think you are, because a lot of us think we are somebody based on what we have created ourselves to become. So this conversation today is going to be a little interesting because I'm going to weave in and out and in and out. Some of you may relate to some of this. Some of you will be like, oh, wow, that's totally me. Some of you are going to be like, oh, that's 100% me. So I want to talk a little bit about where I'm going to come from and how we're going to set this up today. So let me see if I can bring some stuff in here. There we go. So if you guys have any questions, please do feel free to leave them in the comments and we will get to them as well as maybe bringing some of you on. I want to talk a little bit tonight about we'll start off first before this conversation about our spinal cord. Our spine is built and it's created to be able to take impact, right? So your spinal cord starts taking impact based upon how much pressure we put on our body. So if you're running, your spinal cord is going to absorb more of that pressure. If you are jogging, it's going to absorb even more pressure. If you get impact that's so difficult, so hard in your life that that backbone is going to break. It's not going to be able to suppress those emotions or sensations of how much impact actually now took over your vertebrae, your backbone. So our emotions are kind of like that, and our structure is very similar to being like that. Imagine what it'd be like if you were a child or even a young adult, and you're constantly be given negative information or negative feelings or negative emotions. Somebody's constantly telling you how poor you are, how structurally you're an unfit person to be doing something, or how you are not capable of accomplishing something in your life because you are not pretty enough, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough. Imagine what that would be like if you had that over and over and over again. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about being who you are, your true original self. And some of you have gone through your life and tried to accomplish everything your parents have told you to accomplish. You've stayed within the conform of what you believed you needed to be. And if it works for you, that's great. But others of you are unhappy and continue to allow yourself to follow through the emotions and negativity all the time, trying to become somebody you're not. Um, I can relate to that because when you're young, you're doing a lot of things. You're trying to fit in with the crowd all the way into high school. Let's talk about high school first. So you want to be part of the popular crowd. You want to be part of the stoner crowd. You want to be part of the crowd, right? You want to be the in crowd. And that works because now you're finding out who you are, you're modulating into that, you're becoming that person. You're starting to become who you think people need you to be. But the only thing with that is just like that, like I talked a little bit earlier, I talked about how our backbone is very much like a shock absorber for life. So that backbone has vertebrae. Each vertebrae has a shock absorber that takes pressure the more you add onto the body. Our emotions do the same thing. The more you keep adding on to the emotions, and if it's not who you are, if it's not congruent to who you are trying to be internally or externally, becomes an internal or external battle. And a lot of times what happens is that's how we end up becoming depressed. We end up going into these fight or flight feelings and feeling like we can't accomplish or can't become who we really want to be because we're trying to be what everybody else wants us to be. And the sad thing is that a lot of people go through their whole life like that. I was talking to one of my clients this morning. We're talking about how it's interesting how people will try to conform to what they believe they need to do. And the problem with that is the more you conform, the less you leave of you behind. You start forgetting who you are. You start not being the authentic you. It's so important for you to internalize and understand why you're here. What is your purpose? What is your it, right? We're put on this earth for a reason. All of us are put on this earth for a reason, whether it's to have children and raise those children and educate them and bring them into society so your children can teach people how to become themselves as well. Or maybe it's for you to become a developer of something and create something that changes the world. But either way, you have to be the true, authentic you. And what happens many times as we move through our cycle of life, we try to conform to everything around us. We try to be the most popular kid in high school. We try to be the person who makes everybody happy in our group. We don't want to upset anyone. The only problem with everything that you're trying to do by conforming and letting everybody around you influence who you are, who you truly are, you lose your personality. You lose that connection of who you are and how you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? You always see the popular kid. Well, the popular kid's being him, right? Or her. The popular kid is just the person who's out there having a really great time in life, experiencing life, laughing, having, joking, being themselves. And a lot of times we find people that are in these groups or in these niches, they've been there forever. And they're finding that they're just not being true to themselves. So as life goes on, they feel unfulfilled. And it's very important for you to kind of realize that there's some people that will go that way their entire life. They'll be that way forever. They'll have this internalization of, oh my God, I got to conform. I have to be the Stefford wife, right? I have to be the Stefford brother. I have to be the perfect thing for my family, the perfect thing for my friends. I have to be the perfect, perfect, perfect. What happens with that is you lose your true self. Your true self is built here to give you an understanding of who you are and for you to analyze yourself and say, okay, this is who I am. Will you lose friends that way? It's possible. You may have people that don't want to hang around you anymore because you are not that conformity of what they're looking for, and that's okay. I think it was was it Groucho Marx that said something like, "How do I want to be of a how would I want to be in a club that how that goes? How do I why would I want to be in a club that decides whether they want me or not, something like that. You got to realize that why would you want to be a part of something that's not authentically you? Because it will slow you down. It's going to hinder you in the long picture of everything, right? So now you're trying to go in and you're trying to become the people that they want you to become, and you're not living happily ever after. You're not living your life on a happy basis. We go through state changes, and I've talked a little bit about that in the past. We go through state changes where you're going through and you're trying to change and work through emotions to better yourself. That being said, I'll get into that in a minute. But I want to introduce myself. I'm Michael Almaraz. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I'm a neurolinguistic programmer. NLP is my basics of what I use to create change. Hypnosis is my vehicle. Deeper States Mind and Wellness is my company. So that story would have resonated with some of you being in high school all the way up into now. Some of you are like even living your life now where you're thinking, oh man, I got to make the perfect lasagna for that party that's coming up. It's got to be perfect because otherwise people are going to talk. Thing is that people are going to talk no matter what. So you have to be able to be you, be happy who you are, and express yourself. Laugh, smile, enjoy yourself. Because I'm telling you, if you keep staying within that process where you're trying to be somebody who you're not, you're going to feel it. And a lot of times it leads to depression and anxiety because you're not ever going to keep up. You may not ever be able to meet the expectations of other people. Matter of fact, you maybe never will be able to meet the expectation of other people. I'll tell you a little story that I remember I was on a treadmill about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and it just really left an ingrained. It really ingrained in my mind, and it's still to this day I remember it. So, and it's a gentleman who is used to be a monk, and now he's out and he has his own podcast. But he talks about how there's a closet in this banquet hall, and in this closet there's fluorescent bulbs, right? And the fluorescent bulbs out there are excited. They're excited to go out there and be the fluorescent bulb to illuminate this room and to give people light and to bring on everybody, to be able to bring on the light to service all these people that come in and to see what happens out there. And right now, these fluorescent tubes are in the dark. So they're really excited, waiting to see who is going to be the next fluorescent tube that's going to go out there and serve. And what they don't know and understand is that they see the next tube get picked. And that tube goes out there and gets placed. That tube gives illumination for a while, and then the tube dies out and dies and gets thrown away. So are you better off being the one in the closet that's waiting to illuminate the world, illuminate this room? Or are you better off being the one that gets plugged in and at least lives a life that's luminous, right? A life that gives you a radiance of being able to serve. And I really do believe that we're all here to serve. Every single one of us are here to serve a purpose, a reason. But in order for us to do that, we must be congruent with who we are. We have to be able to know who we are. We have to be able to feel ourselves and analyze yourself. If you have people around you that don't love you and accept you for who you are or don't enjoy being with you and you feel like you're working so damn hard to make that relationship, you need to find new friends. You need to find new family members. And that's hard. It's really difficult for me to even say that to you because we are taught belief systems. We're taught state changes where we emotionally go in and we change our state. Think about this for a moment. So when you're with your family and your friends, you're living in a state where you're feeling really comfortable, relaxed, you're having a great time. Imagine what that would be like in an office meeting. It's not appropriate, correct? But among friends, it is appropriate. But if you're feeling like you can't be yourself and can't be comfortable among the friends that you're among, and you're always trying to make sure that you're okay with them, that you're trying to make sure that they understand you and that you're fitting in that mold, it becomes heartbreaking. It becomes difficult. It becomes a situation where you question everything you do. And it will turn into depression and anxiety. It starts first with anxiety, then it moves into depression because now you're feeling like you're useless, you're not meeting expectation, you're not meeting goals. Stop. Stop doing that today, right now. Look at what you got inside yourself. Look at who you are. Start feeling and understanding who you are and how you can shine a light on the world. Be the fluorescent bulb that gets taken out of the closet and put up, at least for the lifetime of your illumination, right? Live your life to illuminate the world and to serve because we're here to do that. We got somebody, hey Diane, how are you, Diane Spiegel? Oh my gosh, so good to see you. I am so excited. Absolutely. I'm going to pull that up here in a minute so we can talk a little bit about that. And low self esteem is interesting because we do fight for that. We fight for being accepted, we fight for being the most popular kid. The only thing is, as it adds on, it's going to lower your self esteem and it does lead to bad choices. Completely. The choices that we build upon ourselves are based upon our emotions and our feelings, right? Everything we ever do is starts with a picture in our brain. We picture what we're supposed to be like. And it may not even be true. Your friends may not be having those expectations about you, okay? They may not be trying to make you feel that way. It's just happening. And you're projecting what you believe you should be projecting. Because at the end of the day, you're not being true to yourself and you're fixing yourself to make them happy, to satisfy them, not to satisfy yourself. Depression and anxiety comes from an imbalance, correct? Being imbalanced. And imagine what it's like if now you're imbalanced, not just to yourself, but now you're finding that you're imbalanced to your friends or you're imbalanced to your family. Expectation. What the hell? Who created the expectation for your group? Who created the expectation for your family gathering? Who's creating these expectations? We can't live life like that. You have to be able to be your true self and do things to the best of your ability and bring it out to the world. Because if you sit there and do nothing, you will be nothing. It's so important to be able to unleash those chains that hold you and start being yourself. Love yourself. Be happy. Be funny. Be courageous. I want to talk a little bit about something with that as well. Is that we can't go just aimlessly saying whatever we want because you got to remember when you say something, you impact the world. A friend of mine who used to work with me used to say, when a butterfly flaps its wings, all across on the other side of the world, the vibrational energy of that butterfly is felt here amongst you. And it's true. Everything we do has the ability to impact the world. But don't live as if the world is something you have to impact because it's being told to you how to impact it. I want you to impact the world the way you feel that you can unleash yourself into the world and to give something back. Be you, be your unconditional self, and let yourself grow into this place where you're going to be able to achieve and reach higher levels of success by doing what's natural for you. So, being natural for you, unless it's causing you problems, you need to evaluate it because some people do. Some people have loose, what is it, loose limbs sink ships, right? The key is to respect each other, love each other, unconditionally be you. Share who you are, experience who you are, be 100% of what you want to be. Put it out there in the world, manifest the creations of who you want to be inside. People will love you unconditionally. If they don't, the hell with them. If people are telling you, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, we don't like the way you look, you got to wear something different when we go out tomorrow, don't wear that again. Hell with them. Find people that love you unconditionally for who you are. It's so important, especially in the times we're living in right now. There's so much controversy out there. There's so much putting people down. There's so much, and you got to look at them and be like, okay, well, you know what? Hey, you made that option. I either live with that option, I include you in my life, or I push you out of my life. But you have to make those decisions. You have to make those choices and just be you. Love yourself unconditionally. Unleash the chains that hold you back, that bind you. And a lot of that comes from childhood. You're told to be a certain way. You're told to act a certain way. You're told to keep your mouth shut all the time. And we go through that our whole life. I mean, all the way to the point where if something bad has happened to you, you still kind of, the instinct is to keep your mouth shut. If it's not fair and it's not right, you need to open your mouth, unleash yourself, and say, look, this is incorrect. This is not the way it should be. Do not be impact. Do not let the friends around you impact the way that you act around them. And if they're not loving you unconditionally, change that. So I talked a little bit about the story about the light bulbs in the closet. You have a choice to make today. You're either the light bulbs that sit in the closet forever, hoping and wishing to get out there and illuminate the world, or you get out there, you really add the light to yourself and you illuminate the world and you do what you can. You reach out, you touch people's lives, you change people's lives. We get one shot, baby. We get one shot. And I'll tell you, I am, I feel that after the pandemic. I think most of us do. We have one shot. And this one shot, we have a choice to make. Bitch and complain about everything happening in the world and try to make sure that our friends in our little circle still love us unconditionally. Or we go out there and we do something about what we feel and we want to change. We experience it. And think about the butterfly. As I said, a friend of mine used to always say, a butterfly across the world flaps its wings. We feel its vibration around the world. And you have potential to do that. Each one of you has that potential to be able to be that butterfly. So I just wanted to come on tonight. I haven't been on for a while. I'm working on some personal goals. I mean, I'm working on releasing excess weight. We're getting ready to do our 8-week weight loss challenge, and I'm having some issues with video recording. Which is funny because I can do this, but I'm having trouble recording videos for that class. But join me on the 8-week weight loss challenge. If you like to know more about that and want more information about that, I'll see if I can put a link down in the comments here. But also, if you want to get more information about our 8-week weight loss challenge, just leave your name and your email. You can DM me that. DM that to me, and I will be sure to make sure that we get you on that list. It'll be an 8-week weight loss challenge. I'm going to teach you how to fast. I'm going to teach you how to go in and be able to get through the fasting process. I'm going to teach you how to eat healthy, make easy. You'll get meals that are going to be sent to you via email. One meal a week. That's something you can just kind of whip up, put together. It's good, it's healthy, and be easy for you to do, as well as having hypnosis MP3s that are going to help you be able to get through the cravings and stick to the weight release. Anyway, for now, I just want to touch base, let you guys know what's going on because I know we haven't had a Thirsty Thursdays for the last 2 weeks because it's just a lot going on right now. Um, but I still love you guys. I think of you guys very often, and I'm going to try to get here. I'm trying to make it every Thirsty Thursdays. I really am. I think once we get some of this recording done and behind us, then I'll be able to move forward with that. But the moral of the story is go out there and be yourself. Love yourself unconditionally, express who you are, share yourself with the world. I told a story at the beginning of this for all my replay people that are watching this. I told a story about the light bulb being in the closet and coming out to illuminate the world by sitting in the banquet hall. Be that light, be that illumination, be that fluorescent bulb. All right. Thank you guys so much, Diane. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'd love to take you out to lunch sometime soon. Uh, do me a favor, send me a text message. And everybody else, you guys can visit deeperstate.com. That's my website. You guys can go in there and learn some more information. A lot of information in there. A lot of free stuff talking about hypnosis, NLP, how it works with pain reduction, how it works with hypnobirthing. Visit us on YouTube at Deeper State. On YouTube, I have an interview there, several interviews. One was with my hypnobirthing mother, who I get to see her son pretty soon. Actually going to see him. It's been a year now. I think a year and a half, maybe. He's in two, maybe even a year and a half, I think, because it was during the pandemic. So I get to actually see this young man and actually see that actual physical connection as he's grown and become this little baby that's so cute now. And there's also interviews on there of a chiropractor that I've worked with closely. Quite a lot of information. If any of you would like to see a topic that I am not covering, do me a favor, put it in the comments below. I do look at these. I do look at the comments. I do try to get back to each one of you. I will get back to each one of you no matter what. If you send me a DM on these platforms, You send me a direct message, I will contact you personally. I promise that. It might take me a couple days because I'm not always on social media, but I will get back out to you and I will reach out to you. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. Have a safe and blessed weekend and go out there and do something for someone. Change somebody's life. Make them smile. A smile is $1 million when somebody has nothing, right? Enjoy it. Thank you guys. And Diane, thank you so much. I love you guys. Take care. Bye now.